As I've been warning for months, America wants our land, our resources, our water, our country. Never.
The words of Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney sent shockwaves across global markets and political circles. The relationship between the United States and Canada, once called the world's most peaceful border partnership, is now at its breaking point. It's no longer just a diplomatic dispute. It's an economic war. President Trump's aggressive tariffs have triggered the largest travel boycott in North American history. Airlines, tourism operators, and small businesses from New York to California are sounding the alarm. Canadians are staying home in protest. The numbers are staggering. Jobs are vanishing. Communities are suffering. But the worst may still lie ahead. In this video, we expose the brutal realities unfolding behind the headlines. Stay tuned. The stakes have never been higher. For decades, the United States and Canada shared one of the world's most robust economic relationships. But in 2025, under President Donald Trump's second term, everything changed. On April 3rd, the Trump administration imposed sweeping tariffs, a brutal 25% duty on Canadian automobiles, auto parts, steel, aluminum, and even lumber. The message was loud and clear: America first. Canada second. The reaction in Ottawa was swift. Prime Minister Mark Carney, just weeks into his mandate, delivered a fiery response. Never, Carney declared. Canada will not be bullied or bought. His government appointed Dominic LeBlanc as Minister for Canada-US Trade, tasked with defending national interests at any cost. The travel boycott erupted almost overnight. Fueled by frustration and nationalism, Canadians began canceling U.S. vacations, scrapping business trips, and choosing Europe or Mexico instead. Airlines took a direct hit. Air Canada issued a rare profit warning in April after reporting a sharp decline in U.S. flight bookings. WestJet followed by suspending 9 American routes, including major destinations like Orlando and Phoenix. The ripple effects extended across the border. U.S. border cities from Buffalo to Detroit saw traffic and spending plunge. The numbers told a grim story. Canadian car travel to the U.S. fell by 35% year-over-year by April, marking the 4th consecutive month of steep decline. And the crisis was just beginning. The next wave would be even more devastating. Stay with us. The numbers are no longer just warnings. They are a disaster unfolding in real time. In May 2025, the U.S. Travel Association released its most alarming report yet. A projected 10% drop in Canadian visitors would erase 2 million visits and strip $2.1 billion from the U.S. economy. 14,000 American jobs are now considered at risk. This is not hypothetical. It's happening. Retailers in Buffalo, New York, who once relied on Canadians filling their parking lots, now stand idle. Detroit's downtown hotels, which banked on Canadian tourists for weekend getaways, report record low occupancy. Even sunny Florida is feeling the chill. A single WestJet route cancellation to Orlando wiped out thousands of potential tourist bookings. Local restaurant and attraction owners are calling it the worst spring season in over a decade. This is worse than COVID for us, said a Florida motel owner who had relied on Canadian snowbirds for 35 years. The pattern is everywhere. Air Canada cut future U.S. flights. WestJet reduced its summer schedule by 9 entire routes. Canadians are simply staying away. In April, Canadian car crossings into the U.S. fell by 35% compared to last year. It marked the 4th straight month of severe decline. And the blowback could still grow worse. President Trump has signaled he will not back down. We hold all the cards, Trump told reporters. But does he? The next chapter could change everything. Don't go anywhere. Before we continue, if you find this investigation valuable, hit that subscribe button and help us continue bringing you the truth behind today's most important global events. May 2025 marked the boiling point. What started as tariffs and a boycott escalated into a full-scale economic standoff. President Trump's Commerce Secretary confirmed what many feared. The U.S. will maintain a minimum 10% tariff baseline on imports with a 25% duty specifically targeting Canadian goods. steel, aluminum, auto parts, and lumber, all caught in the crossfire. The Canadian government, fearing inflation and damage to its domestic industries, responded strategically. Mark Carney's administration pulled nearly all retaliatory tariffs to protect Canadian consumers, but doubled down on diversifying away from U.S. markets. Billions were pledged to strengthen internal trade and increase European and Asian partnerships. Meanwhile, American businesses were suffering. In Buffalo, sales tax revenue in the Niagara region dropped by 7% in February alone. Small businesses are sounding the alarm. "We've lost half our Canadian customers," one New York tour operator said. "We're drowning." The Bank of Canada warned that American tariffs pose an immediate threat to Canada's financial stability, predicting significant credit losses for major Canadian banks. The uncertainty sent the Canadian dollar tumbling and spooked global investors. And yet, Trump remained defiant. "Canada needs us more than we need them," he posted on Truth Social. The stakes could not be higher. Over $600 billion in annual cross-border trade hangs in the balance. The next move will determine the future of two nations. The fallout has been swift and severe. Canadian travelers once accounted for nearly 20 million visits to the U.S. each year, spending over $20 billion. That lifeline has collapsed. In May 2025, Air Canada slashed its profit forecast, citing a historic decline in U.S. bookings. WestJet's withdrawal of 9 American routes sent a chilling signal to U.S. tourism hubs. In border towns like Niagara Falls, New York, the streets are eerily quiet. "It's like a ghost town," says a souvenir shop owner who has seen sales plummet by 60%. Florida's tourist industry, normally booming with Canadian snowbirds, faces a grim reality. Restaurant owners and tour guides report the worst spring season in decades. "We can't survive another year like this," one Florida motel operator confided. The economic damage isn't limited to tourism. Retail, gas stations, car rental agencies, and entertainment venues nationwide have all felt the squeeze. The U.S. Travel Association now warns that a sustained 30% decline in Canadian visitors could erase $6 billion from the American economy by year's end. On the Canadian side, the Bank of Canada's Financial Stability Report issued a stark warning. The U.S. tariffs have created serious risks to Canada's financial system, increasing the chance of credit losses and weakening investor confidence. Both nations are bleeding, but neither is blinking. Will diplomacy prevail, or will both economies spiral further? The next developments may shock the world. The U.S. and Canada stand at a historic crossroads. What began as policy decisions has morphed into an emotional standoff fueled by nationalism and pride. Mark Carney, in his first major foreign policy challenge, has vowed not to let Canada be treated as a disposable sidekick. His appointment of Dominic LeBlanc as Minister for Canada-U.S. Trade signals an aggressive push to reduce dependency on American markets. Billions are now being redirected to strengthen internal Canadian trade and secure new global partners. Meanwhile, President Trump shows no signs of compromise. His messaging remains blunt and provocative. "Canada needs us," not the other way around, Trump declared at a Pennsylvania rally. Yet the numbers tell a different story. Border cities in America are suffering. Small business owners feel abandoned. Local economies are at risk. "We've never seen it this bad," a Buffalo store owner confessed. The Bank of Canada's chilling assessment looms large. U.S. protectionist policies have raised the overall risk to Canada's financial system. Global investors watch nervously as tensions simmer. History offers a warning. The 1930 Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act deepened the Great Depression by fueling a global trade war. Could 2025 repeat the same mistake? No one knows how this ends. Talks remain stalled. The summer travel season approaches, with millions of dollars and livelihoods hanging in the balance. Will the world's longest peaceful border remain so, or are we witnessing the beginning of an irreversible fracture? Stay tuned. The next move could change history.